first thing is I like to start with इतना rejection से डरते क्यों हैं? So I said this. कभी ट्रेलर स्टार्ट होता नहीं ऐसे. My generation, when I look at Shahrukh, Amir or Salman, I can say that they are more concerned. They don't mind being on the side.
I can say obviously my dad's very established. He's a big legend. But for 22 years he was not delivering. Movies weren't doing that well.
Yeah.
So he didn't look around to see, this and that.
कोई भी advice दे रहा है सुन लो. Write it down. The next morning wake up and just see whether it's still making sense.
When I started out, we had to put a bit of action. If you see मैंने प्यार किया हमने action गेरा था because हाँ उस समय थोड़ा action गेरो.
Hello everyone, this is Aina and welcome to Instant Bollywood. I'm in conversation with the cast and the filmmakers of Dono, Sooraj sir, Paloma, Rajveer and Avnish. Hi.
Hi. Hello.
Welcome to Instant Bollywood. I want to start off by asking the line of the trailer is हम rejection से इतना डरते क्यों हैं? I want to ask अगर आप actually rejection से as real people डरते हो in love, in life, in career?
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely
Yeah.
you do.
Yeah.
I think after, in the beginning when you start giving auditions, you kind of think about it so much, you overthink it, and then it's tough to you every day sit and pray and this and that. But then you get used to it. You kind of figure that, this is what it is, the nature of this industry. You give an audition and then next day you give another audition and then you just keep giving till you get
Right.
to work finally. So, yeah.
What about y'all?
Yeah.
I think rejection, it teaches us it makes us more stronger. I think more you go through it, you get a more thicker skin to it. But yeah, growing up I was just very scared of anything that causes attention or any chance to see me fail. I was terrified of that.
सूरज सर for you, जैसे आपने कहा था कि पहले स्क्रिप्ट्स इतना जो स्ट्रक्चर्ड नहीं होते थे और अब थिंग्स आर इन प्लेस, प्रोसेसेस आर इन प्लेस. आपको कितना डिफरेंस दिखाई देता है फ्रॉम व्हेन फिल्म्स वर मेड बिफोर वर्सेस व्हेन फिल्म्स आर मेड नाउ?
बहुत फ़र्क. जैसे पहले इफ़ यू लुक बैक स्क्रिप्ट्स होती नहीं थी. मतलब जैसे हम कभी जाते थे एक्टरों को तो हम एक 20 मिनट में कहानी सुनाते थे, मोटी कहानी. एंड समहाउ आई डोंट नो द एक्टर्स वुड अंडरस्टैंड ऑल्सो क्या होने वाला एंड दे ट्रस्टेड. और फिर हम लोग लिखते थे. मतलब यू विल बी सरप्राइज. मतलब ऐसे हमारे पास स्क्रिप्ट्स आते थे जिसके अंदर देयर यूज्ड टू बी ये क्लाइमेक्स. मतलब पूरी लिख दी है ड्रामेटिक. ये क्लाइमेक्स बोले क्लाइमेक्स तो एक्शन डायरेक्टर करेंगे और ये लव सीन मीन्स ये तो एक्टर एक्ट्रेस ऐसे स्क्रिप्ट्स आते थे.
Right.
बट ओवर द इयर्स देयर इज सो मच ऑफ based of course as a director I have written in greatest of details of my script, but today everything is about script, everything about characterization. Characters are much more layered. For example, when Avnish told me about this trailer, I normally trailers start with कब मिलेंगे, कितना खूबसूरत मौसम है. तो normally first thing is I like to start with इतना rejection से डरते क्यों हैं? So I said this. कभी ट्रेलर स्टार्ट होता नहीं ऐसे. You're talking of rejection, but he said it's honesty. The most important thing with today's cinema is everything is very honest. People are not scared to meet their closures. To like he always says, we all have our own demons inside us. So I think overall filmmaking has gone through, film writing has gone through great progression.
राइट. सो बट जैसे आपने कहा कि एक्टर्स बहुत ट्रस्ट करते थे, कहीं ना कहीं वो कम हुआ है. नाउ एक्टर्स आर वेरी कॉन्शियस कि क्या रोल है, कितना स्क्रीन टाइम है, क्या डायलॉग है, कैसा लुक है. जैसे पहले आपने कहा कि दे वुड सबमिट देमसेल्व्स कम्प्लीटली. क्या आपको लगता है ओवर द इयर्स एक्टर्स हैव बिकम सो सेल्फिश अबाउट देमसेल्व्स दैट वो ट्रस्ट कहीं ना कहीं कम हो जाता है?
नो आई थिंक इट्स द ऑपोजिट.
ओके.
पहले क्या होता था, दे यूज्ड टू ट्रस्ट, बट समटाइम्स डायरेक्टर्स वुड नॉट रीच दैट ट्रस्ट बिकॉज वो सोचते हैं कि मैं हूँ इस सीन में, पता चलो और भी लोग हैं. फिर वो जजमेंट होता, अच्छा मेरे डायलॉग नहीं है, मेरा ये नहीं है. टुडे एक्टर्स व्हेन आई सी ऑल ऑफ देम आल्सो दे आर मोर कंसर्न्ड विद द टोटलिटी ऑफ द सीन, with the totality of the film. I can only say for my generation, when I look at Shahrukh, Amir or Salman, I can say that they are more concerned. They don't mind being on the side. It's a scene which is wanted. So I think today these kids, all of them, they want to know their character much more.
Yeah.
देन पुराने ज़माने पहले हमको मालूम था एक माँ है मैं बहन मतलब इट वाज वेरी स्टैंडर्ड कि ओके आई हैव टू ब्रदर टू सिस्टर एंड वी वुड डू एज पर इमेजिनेशन टुडे व्हाट इज माय रिलेशनशिप विद माय ब्रदर व्हेन डू आई हैव स्टडीड व्हिच स्कूल हैव आई डन व्हाट हैज बीन माय चाइल्डहुड सो इट्स people are working a little more so I think actors today are much more open
Yeah.
to make a good film rather than main you know.
My question is to the three of you all. There are two ways to look at it because your parents have been like such great names in the industry. There is an audience that will be like, आप उनकी legacy को आगे लेके जा रहे हो, and then there's an audience that will be like, you all have gotten it easy. How are you going to deal with two of those responses?
I think again, that's a very boring answer, but you just have to ignore it. You know, like racing horses, they have blinders.
Yeah.
So you can focus on the finish line. So you just have to put your blinders on and just keep working. Because the biggest example I can say, obviously my dad's very established, he's a big legend. But for 22 years, he was not delivering, movies weren't doing that well.
Yeah.
So he didn't look around to see, this and that. He just kept making movies, kept working till one just hit the lightning.
Yeah.
So that's what you do. You need to ignore this because I think art is something that comes from self-expression. And if you corrupt your thoughts and your actual soul that you want to express on screen, then you're doing it for a reason of gaining attention or making a hit or trying to become a star. So I think the best thing is to just become blind sometimes, or just become
Very well said.
just deaf and just ignore everything.
Rajiv, for you, especially because you spoke about your dad and he's seen the industry, seen the ups and downs. Is he very protective about you? And same for the two of you. What are the protective conversations you'll have? कि हमने industry देखी है, हमने अच्छे वक्त भी देखे, बुरे वक्त भी देखे. What is that one thing that your parents tell you?
He was
about
very
it?
protective of me and my brother. We grew up in a very protective household because he knew the not so nice parts of the industry and not so nice parts of the world that he has experienced himself. So he used to keep us away. But once you go out and you interact with other people, you can't be protective for too long. You actually, you get to see the underbelly of the world.
Yeah, I remember my dad telling me and explaining that, this industry will give you a chance if you keep working hard and keep proving yourself. So that's something that I keep trying to do. I think that's the foundation of what I believe in professionally. My work should talk, and that is the most important thing. And that's going to take me forward and keep giving me chances to sustain myself. Yeah.
Avnish, for you, when you have a father who's made some iconic movies, how difficult is it कि आप उनकी suggestion नहीं सुन के अपनी सुनते हो?
100%, it plays on your mind a little bit extra.
Yeah.
Because if someone's giving suggestions, someone with as much wisdom, with as much experience, and as much of a track record, that where my father has always said that a director should always follow his instincts. So if he's giving me a suggestion from his instincts, it always helps to listen and hear it out. But he's always told me a great thing. He said कि कोई भी advice दे रहा है सुन लो. Write it down. The next morning, wake up and just see whether it's still making sense.
Yeah.
Because in the moment, you might react anyway. And that's what I kept following. And he always told me, he said, trust your instincts.
Yeah.
You know why you're making the film. And that's what I honestly try to do. So any advice, obviously, I would write down everything that he would ever tell me. And then take a call by myself, whether it makes sense, whether it doesn't. There have been a lot of times where I've taken his advice, even though I probably felt otherwise. A lot of times where I didn't take his advice, and I feel it's always helped out. That instinct has to be your own, I think, as a director. That was something I learned from him as well. That was one of his most important advices that he gave me.
Did you two always want to take up acting, seeing the atmosphere at home? Because like you said, fear of rejection था, attention आता है तो आप limelight में भी काफ़ी आते हो, अच्छा बुरा सब सुनने मिलता है. Was acting always on the plan?
I guess it was always back of my head that I want to do this. Because I'm such a quiet and such an introvert person. Everyone is quick to say how.
Yeah.
And I've done plays and I remember for my theatre exam, I wrote my own monologue. Once I saw that the limitation what other people put on you, once you break that, the sweet joy that you get to prove people wrong is what driven me more to this.
सूरज सर, आपने हर्ष वर्मा को 3 एडवाइसेस दी थी विच ही हैड सेड इन एन इंटरव्यू. वन बीइंग दैट
Oh, अच्छी बात है.
हमेशा आपको, आप जिससे भी काम करते हो, आपको सॉरी बोल के काम करना चाहिए इन केस समथिंग गोज रॉन्ग. Second was about you should submit yourself completely, and third was do whatever work, get 8 hours of sleep. How do you have that kind of attitude towards life कि आप किसी के भी साथ काम करोगे और जब भी कोई डिफरेंस आप सॉरी बोल के काम करोगे?
No, you see what happens, it's over the years I've learned. It's over because on the set there are hundreds of people working, and you go after time. There is like an actor has to move from here to there. He has to see the light, and there's time running, there's light running, there is everything going on. And in that time, that actor has to deliver that one emotion. तो चांस वो एक टाइम मिलता है, तो उसके लिए ना तो anywhere that you are little you are affected by your own personal emotions, that is going to come in the way of character. Because I truly believe if you feel beautiful, you will look beautiful. The greatest makeup artists will tell you that. Because finally, if you're feeling good, it's going to come.
Yeah.
So that is the main key reason. Because मैंने भी बहुत गलतियाँ की, मैंने भी हीरोइनों को रुलाया, मतलब झगड़े वगड़े मैंने भी बहुत. Over the time, I realized it's very important to be calm on the set and to allow that one moment. So you have to be clean. So it reflects godliness. That character, whether it's Dev or Meghna, or for the director, that one shot comes straight from the Almighty. So you live that character because you get one moment.
Yes.
One moment. And I can say that now the film is complete. All three of them have been very grounded. They have gone through enormous amount of their tests. 5 years of writing and the kind of auditions that Rajvi did, 6 months she waited, so many more girls we tested. I mean, because finally you have to be yourself. No amount of name and no amount of legacy is going to help. It didn't help me. When I started as a director, my contract was made. Similarly, his contract is there that if not, you can be replaced by anyone else. So, I think this has grounded them, and they have been grounded. That's why they have reached here. Otherwise, it's very difficult,
Yeah.
So, these are the little trips, to be grounded, to take it as I'm nobody, and to first and foremost be disciplined when you come on a set.
Yeah.
It's like puja, That's the thing. Over all these 35 years have come down to these 3 things, which are most important.
Also, sir, the fact that your films are actually a genre in itself. Like they say, the Sooraj Barjatya kind of movies. And today we are seeing so many family entertainers and movies like this, which is so relatable to the audience. But was there a time जब आप ऐसे films बनाते थे and there were people or actors who did not support the idea or did not support this genre?
Every film has its own set of audiences. Now, when I make family films, I know that मेरी जो film है, that is for 35 age group, because I know my age group and I'm happy there. Because I know that's, मुझे सबको impress नहीं करना, मुझे कहानी बोलनी है. So that's what I want to make. When Avnish narrated Dono, I told him, do what you want. Don't worry कौन सा audience है, कहाँ का relevance है. Say your story, the audience will come.
Yeah.
When I started out, we had to put a bit of action. If you see मैंने प्यार किया, हमने action गेरा था because हाँ उस समय थोड़ा action गेरो, थोड़े गाने चाहिए, थोड़े ये, because उस समय formula चलते थे.
Right.
Formula was the order of the day. Here you have an audience for every kind of a set.
That's true.
I mean, for any good film, you find the films which have done well this year, you can immediately come to know there is an oh my god, there's a Gadar 2, there is a Pathan, there's a Zara Hatke, there's a Satyaprem. So everywhere you will find, you have to just give it your sincerity.
Also, lastly, sir, you did mention some time back that Prem will be back.
Yeah.
What do you have to say, if you can say something about your collaboration with Salman Khan after a very long time?
With Salman, I start next year. But it's yet a little early because, Dono is the main priority for us. So for any production house, every film is full of passion. So right now it's Dono, and then we'll take that forward.
But is the bond same between you and Salman the way it was back in Maine Pyar
Yeah, because when you start off together, the bond never fails. I'm sure this bond, I've seen them going through the struggles of pandemic. There was a time when we had to stop making the film, and the film was delayed for a year, Raji. So I remember both of them are sitting, and I have to tell Avnish and Rajveer sir. Paloma had not yet joined
Acha.
because she was yet waiting. I said we have to delay by 1 year.
Oh,
So
God.
Avnish is low. Rajveer turns and says, "Oh, it's okay, shit happens." He says, so you know, bonds will not. When you start together, my memories with him at bandstand waiting, kya hoga life mein. So I've seen them going through. So you know, bonds when you
Yeah.
start together, then it's beyond successes and beyond failures. When you know each other so well, so
Yeah. No, it's so good to see young energy on set and so many new people and new talents coming. Lastly, Rajiv, obviously Gadar 2 was a massive success and everyone's asking you about it. How do you feel and what's the atmosphere like at home? And you know, like you said, for the longest time, Sunny Sir's films weren't doing that great on the box office. How did it feel and how did he feel when Gadar was this massive success?
I think all of us are pinching ourselves if this is a dream or not for the first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Just like, did this happen? Yeah, it happened. Okay, it happened. Yeah. I do not know the amount of love I can express and joy I can express for my father.
Yeah.
Just seeing him relax and be happy is just a blessing,
Yeah.
and he deserves it.
No, to the fact that he can handle success back then so well and even now so well
Yeah.
is something that I'm sure very enduring.
It is.
Thank you so much. All the very
Thank you.
best to
Thank
all
you.
the stars
Thank
of
you.
Dono. And we'll see you at the theatre super soon.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
If you like this video,
Please like, share, and subscribe.
To Instant Bollywood.